Welcome to the video blog. I'm Doug Simon here at the Big Apple Awards for PRSA in New York, and my guest is Ken Scudder. Ken is Senior Vice President of Virgil, Scudder and Associates media training firm. Welcome to the video blog.
Thanks, Doug. Good to be here.
Our question now is about crisis. How is what you're doing, training companies to handle crises, changing with the web and the speed that a crisis can break out and explode?
Well, it's making what we do even more important, because getting that good, solid message out there, especially during a crisis, is critical, and the sooner the better. And what we tell people in a crisis is they have to communicate what happened, what went wrong, what you immediately did, and what the current situation is, and what you're going to do to fix it in the future. In terms of the web, you want to make sure that that information is on your website as quickly as possible. Most reporters now, covering any story, start by going to a website, so you want to make sure you have the information in a crisis available for them.
Right. Now, we can make this fun. What are some mistakes that you're seeing out there? Maybe companies not adjusting the time, and feel free to name names if you'd like to.
I won't name names because I'd love for them to be clients, and hopefully they're not already clients. But
not in the spirit of the web, but we'll see what we can do. We'll keep trying.
Yeah. The biggest mistake I've seen people do is not having a server ready for the influx that you get during a crisis. And it's something people often overlook, is that you're going to get tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of hits possibly on your website. Make sure you're not overloading your server. Make sure you've got backup. The other thing that we find that people make mistakes all the way through is they forget to communicate with their employees. When a problem hits, we do crisis training programs where we say, okay, what are your communication steps? What are you going to do? And they say, well, we're contacting the government, we're contacting the police, we're contacting the press, and they always leave off, we're contacting our employees. And in a crisis, they are your ambassadors. They're the ones who, their friends are going to call and say, what's going on? You want them to be on your side giving the messages that you want.
Yeah, one of the big changes that I've seen that I often talk about is that the wall has come down between external and internal communications, because you can't keep secrets anymore. The info is out there. So what are some of the tools you've mentioned? You've got to focus on this audience. How do you do it?
It's a simple matter of thinking about doing it and making sure it's a part of every one of your crisis plans, every one of your communications plans is internal communication, and making sure that, like you said, nothing you say internally you don't want to see externally, because if you say it inside house, it's going out house. Shouldn't call it out house, sorry. If you say something internally, it's going to go external very quickly.
Well, I think actually outhouse is the right phrase, because if you don't communicate right internally, you may be in the outhouse before you're done. Now, you commented before coming on as a trainer communicator. What are some of the things you're doing in this communication? Because you're like, uh-oh, I better be taking my own advice. What are some of those points?
Well, first of all, it's making good eye contact with your interviewer, and hopefully I've been doing that, and not waving to the camera like this. But it's making sure you have your key points, making sure that you get them out in a short, concise manner, and having something you want to say. What we tell people is you should be able to anticipate most of the questions you're going to get in an interview. So have answers prepared for them. I don't think I've done a great job on that today, but hopefully I'm covering it well.
I think you're doing great. We're going to get to our final question, which I hope will be a doozy. Authentic communications valued so much more today than it used to be. Now, corporate communications is almost automatically viewed as inauthentic.
Yes.
How do you bridge the gap?
You have to have credibility, and you have to have that credibility from the get-go. You can't suddenly create credibility when a crisis hits, especially. So the way you have that is you play straight with reporters and with the public from day one. For example, we're doing work in investor relations. If you've had a bad quarter, you have to say, we had a bad quarter. Then you can say what you're doing to fix it. By admitting small problems, by admitting even mistakes you've made, you do build credibility. So when you say, hey, we got that wrong, but we're doing this right, people are more likely to believe you than if you're constantly giving a message of everything is fine, everything is perfect.
Great. Well, the one thing, my takeaway is everything you've said has been extremely credible. So thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much, Doug.